There it goes. What's up? What's going on? How's everybody doing today? Thank y'all for tuning in to another DnL&x Fitness live stream show. Let's go. There we go. One round of applause, man. Thank y'all. How y'all doing today? Today's December 9th. It's a Tuesday. Yes, sir. Getting closer to Christmas. We're getting closer to Christmas. Getting closer to Christmas. Yes, sir. And today, what is it? What is today? Something special is happening today? No, not today. But anyway, hopefully you're having a good day today. It is the second day from the week. We are not even at hump day yet, but if you're having a good day, good. But if you're having a bad day, let Mr. Child break it down to ya.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you did not become unalive, man, you are ready to get up and make something happen because you still got life in your lungs and breath to breathe, and you still got a chance to make something good happen about yourself. So don't sit on your ass and bullshit. Get it cracking. So let's go. Yes. Oh my goodness. I got to make sure. All right. So today we got a good show lined up for you. Just to let you know, we are simultaneously streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor. When you see that thumbs up pop up on the screen, I want you to hit that thumbs up. As you can see right there, get the algorithm out and get this thing going and get this message out because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's so little time, unfortunately, but we got to make it happen what we got. And if you want to contribute to today's show, Cash App and Venmo right there on the screen. Bam, Cash App is Daniel2888. Venmo, Danny-Daniel-00. Greatly appreciate it. Get your word heard, get yourself heard, and contribute to today's show, because you know your boy runs this show on a solo mission. Ain't no support or sponsorships. We just make this thing happen. That's what we do. Get this message out to you now. Today's show. I know I'm speaking kind of fast. Let me slow down and take a break. Today's show, we got the economy and AI. All right, so we're going to go into two different topics on economy and AI. I had to redo this show because when I look back at the playback of the show, I realized the sound was so screwed up. So I have to redo a show that I did, which really sucks, but we're still going to make it happen. So yes, we got to redo a show that we did, but I'm going to add a little bit more to it because there's some stuff that I need to go over. So I know. It's frustrating, but hey. What can you do except make it happen? So today's show, we're going to go over, there's quite a few things we're going to go over. As far as the topic goes, the main topics we're going to go over is communism and feminism. There was a document or some laws that this guy had read over about how feminism works and communism works hand in hand. So we're going to go back over that video that the guy talked about. I got to make sure that the sound is working this time to make sure we got it right. And then we're going to go to the AI segment of the show, and we're going to talk about the job reports for 2025 from the World Economic Forum for AI and how the world's going to be moving forward as far as jobs and shit goes. So you might want to hear this out. But we're not going to waste no time because there's a lot of stuff I got to cover prior to this. So I got to make sure I got all this right whenever we do this because it's a lot that I need to go over, especially regarding the Illhan Omar stuff. That lady there is causing quite a kerfunkle, and I have to tag over it myself because I got to see some of the stuff that she's done because I tried to ignore it. But do you know that this lady has made out with they said her net worth increases to 30 million in like 5 years. However, the fraud scheme that they did on the government, they're saying that it's got up to $8 billion. $8 billion with a B. Bro, this is going to change, I think. Or maybe not. I don't know. This may change how government programs work, at least in Minnesota for sure. But if that's what they did in Minnesota, then how much they be getting over in other states is the real question. If they pulled off $8 billion out of Minnesota, maybe they didn't pull off $8 billion in other places, but I mean, they probably hit some hundreds of millions in other places. Because lately, man, if you've been wondering, if you look at let's get on my nerves. If you look at the big picture and pay attention to what's really been going on, as far as the money that's been flowing lately and the whole like women empowerment, feminism, immigrant lifestyle that's been going on, bruh, this past decade, we've seen a crazy amount of influx in like that degree of people. And I'm curious if the government programs had a lot to do with it, because $8 billion, and they were outsourcing it to people in Somalia, and allegedly some terrorist groups in Somalia got their hands on that money too. And then I had went over a situation that happened in September where Somalian pirates allegedly had attacked the Navy tanker. So the United States Navies had to go in and whoop some ass, bruh. Whew. I'm like, so did some of that money go over to them Somalis over there that, you know, went and attacked the Navy tanker? Because if so, bro, there's going to be a huge problem in the near future. But I'm just saying, that's just something I covered the video where we saw, you know, half the video where the Somalians came in, pirates, like 250 of them on their little bitty speedboats, but they had AKs, or RPG, and something else. And they shot the RPG and hit the Navy ship, which I thought was stupid. There's no way in hell you hit a U.S. Navy ship because all the damn technology, and you let somebody shoot a funky ass RPG that they bought from somebody, like not even a missile, RPG. Dude had the whole thing in his hand. But I digress. But I was curious. I was like, man, maybe some of that money that Illhan Omar stole went over to them, and they, you know, was brazen enough to go in and attack tanks or the Navy ship. So I was like, maybe put two and two together, it makes sense. But I got to cover some of her stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. Plus, the Black Friday just ended, so we got to check that. So there's a lot of things I got to check, and I got to make sure that the sound is correct as we do this. So we're not going to waste no more time. I'm finna get right into this, but I got to make sure the sound is good as we do this. So we're not finna bullshit at all, because I got a lot of stuff to cover. So starting off, let's get a sexy lady in here to get us into the economy segment of the show. Let's go.
Welcome to the economy segment of the show. Enjoy.
Oh yeah, boy, she look good. I'm telling you, man. My AI bot gonna be litty when I get one. I'm telling you, she gonna be so dang fine. I saw Subservient. I'm like, it's gonna be a wrap. I think mine gonna be like half AI, half clone, because you know they be cloning people. So you know, like certain parts of her body is gonna be how do you say this? Certain parts of my AI clone is gonna be flesh. You know what I mean? And then other parts of her are gonna be robot. I don't know what part of hers I want robot though. Probably the brain for sure. Cause when I want her to shut up, like like on command, I'm gonna be like, "Hey robot, I'm gonna need you to
shut up, bitch."
And then she gonna be like, "Beep beep beep." That's gonna be my turn off word. When I tell my robot, "Hey,
shut up, bitch,"
she's gonna be like, "Phew." Just gonna be knocked out. Just system deactivated. Like, yes, perfect. I'll be in love. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. All right. So anyway, in the economy segment of the show, let's go ahead and get right into this. I can't be playing around. All right. So first things first. Let me make sure the sound is good, because this is a big story I'm about to cover right here. This one is actually a big deal. This one's a really big deal. All right, so let's see. Where do we go? Oh, where do we start? How do I start this off? We'll do Fox News with the Ling Ling. All right, so we'll do Fox News with the Ling Ling, but I got to make sure the sound is on before we do this right. So here we go. Let's do this right. So before we do, all right, so let's see. Let me make sure I got the sound right, because I don't want to screw this up, because it was frustrating. I did this shit last time and no sound played. I was so upset. So come on.
Social media for kids is an issue that has raised concern around the world. Now, Australia is becoming the first to enforce strict rules for big tech companies.
Let me make sure I got the sound right, because I don't want to screw this up, because it was frustrating. I did this shit last time and no sound played. I was so upset. All right, here we go. So come on.
Social media for kids is an issue that has raised concern around the world.
All right, so sound is working as we have it, but for some reason I got the echo sound, which I don't like. So let me try to figure out why the echo is happening. So let's see if I can figure this out real quick.
Lucas Tomlinson has the details of the ban that will soon go into effect and what the U.S. is doing.
There we go. Okay, we got it. We are in there like swimwear. We're going to get the show started now. Sorry. Had to make sure this was right, because I did this last time. I did a whole damn show and it was muted on the other end. pissed me off to no end you wouldn't believe. So the first story we got going on for today is going to be, let's see, should we do the link? Nah, links seem boring. Let's try something else. We'll try the snow bunny. No, we'll try. Who we gonna do? You know what? I should just go back to the ling and we'll start there. Which one did I see earlier? I gotta figure out the one I saw earlier. The one I saw earlier today when I was in the gym, that was the one to look at. So let me find it real quick. Give me 2 seconds. This shouldn't take too much time because it was easy to find. There it is. Found it that quick. All right, so gotta find one with the back of the kid's head. Let's see. Is this it? Let's see. Australia's. Because it's Australia's social media ban. Australia social. That was a good one. Let's see. Media ban. Give me the back of the little kid's head, and then we should be good to go. Because we got to get this thing started. All right. Now let me just click on this and see if I can find it. Let's see. Live now. Where you at, live now? Let me find you. Social media banned. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Live now. Is this it? Was this her? Lady, is this you? Come on, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Nope. All right, sissy. Live now, Fox. Live now, Fox. Live now, Fox. Sorry, we got to get this right. Because I had this up here earlier, but there it is. Good Lord. Why did they make this so hard for me to find? All right, we got it. We're in there like swimwear. So now we must get this show on the road. We're going to get this started. All right, so first things first, we're going to start off this right here. Let's get it to it. Bam, there she is. All right, so lady up here, I don't know what she is. She's ambiguous. This is a Ling Ling or a Snow Bunny or a mix? I'll go with Snow Bunny. No, I'm going to go with Ling Ling. Anyway, Australia, social media ban will take effect for people 16 years old and under. So now we have the first social media ban that is on the way. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, this is not good news. This is some really, really shitty news. So we're going to take a look and see what's going on with Australia people having this social media ban for people 16 years old or under. You know what that means. You know what that means. Social media ban for 16 years and under. They're going to say it's to protect the kids, but I'll tell you right now, they do not give two shits about these kids at all. I mean, they got kids chopping off their wee-wees and trying to figure out what gender they are, and got, all sorts of, queer people hanging around the kids and trying to make them not like trying to figure out what their sex is and all this stuff. It's like, bro, you don't care about the kids. You trying to like destroy these kids. So now they're saying for 16 and under to help the kids and all that, but that's not the truth. It's the first form of like an internet ban. Texas right now has a ban on prawn in certain areas. I mean, don't ask me how I know, but they got a ban on some prawn in certain areas. Like Prawn Hub, you can't get no Prawn Hub in Texas. Don't ask me how I know. I don't ask me. I found out, but don't ask how I found out. Now they're doing this for kids 16 and under, so this is going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. So let's go ahead and dive right into this and let's get cracking. All right, let's see what this lady has to say about this. So here we go.
We turn now to a story that's getting a lot of people talking and also set to make history. Take a look at this. This is a social media post by Reuters. Australia is set to become the first country to implement a minimum age for social media use, with platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube forced to block more than 1 million accounts, marking the beginning of an expected global wave of regulation. So this is a live look right here of the Sydney Harbour as this ban is set to take effect later on today. A little bit more information. Australia's world first social media ban for under 16-year-olds will take effect at midnight today local time, forcing major platforms to block users or face heavy fines. All of this aimed to protecting children from harmful content and mental health risks. And this has been...
Oh my God, to help children from harmful contact and mental health risk. Oh my God. Becky, look at her butt. They said they're trying to save the children. They want to save the children all of a sudden. Since when did they want to save the children? They don't care about the children. I'm telling you right now, they don't care about the children. They're like, we should ban it because the kids, yes, the kids' mental health. Yeah, we don't want the kids to get harmed. It's like when you hear stuff like that, you can't help but look at people sideways and just say to them this right here.
You lying ass bitch.
Like straight up, you straight up lying out the side of your neck. Like, cut this out. You know damn well you don't care about these kids. We done seen all sorts of craziness, especially Australia. Australia is the place with that girl that smashed 100 dudes or 1,000 dudes. It's like 100 or 1,000 in like a 24-hour period. So you got the nerve to say you give a damn about kids, and you got this woman out here just floating around Australia doing a world tour of banging dudes, and then turns around and has regret and says that she's whatever. You already know what I'm talking about. But they said they're doing it to protect kids, and then they did something here that was actually debaucherous, I must say. Let me find this for you. So I don't know how loud that was, if you could hear it, but check this out. They did a poll. Look at this bullshit poll that they did. Look at this right here. They said, do you agree with Australia's ban on social media for children under 16? Watch this janky ass poll that they did. Check this out.
To ask you if you agree with Australia's ban on social media for children under the age of 16. This is a live vote right here. 3 answers for you: yes, no, or it should be up to the parents. All you have to do is scan the QR code on the upper right-hand side of your screen and share with us your thoughts. A lot of parents have very strong feelings about whether their children should be allowed on social media, and the age, of course, is also a big part of this discussion. So this is a live poll right here. I know a lot of folks are getting ready for the day, probably taking your kids to or not under the age of 16 as parents, between up to the parents. Is going to be the very first country, Australia, to implement this social media ban. This is set to take place at midnight tonight, and Australia would become the very...
Bro, look at this poll. Look at this poll. They're like, people are weighing in their votes, and look at what the people are saying. The people are saying that they agree with the ban on social media for kids under 16. They saying it should not be up to the parents. It should be up to the government to make the decision, not the parents. Look here. See, look, 17% of parents say it should be up to them, but 80% overwhelmingly are saying that they agree with Australia's decision. Boy, oh boy. That right there, bro. Look at this janky ass. Look at this, bro. This janky ass poll they got right here. This is ridiculous. Let me move this over. Look at this poll, bro. It's utterly ridiculous. Like, come on, bro. Look at this poll, bro. They sitting here lying, man. Lying out their teeth. Hopefully you can hear this video. I know the video was really low, but they're saying that, yeah. So this is what you got. This is a live poll, but this was from earlier this morning, like 6 hours ago. And I think it goes into effect tonight at midnight. So tonight at midnight, they're going to go in effect. The live poll came in. Allegedly, people voted for Australia to make the ban, and people were way in less agreement that the parents should be making decisions, but the government should be making the decision. I'm like, bro, who in the hell is voting for that? But then again, it's Australia. I don't know. I highly doubt people would put all... you can't put nothing past people. But what they're saying is that people overwhelmingly agree that the government should be putting the ban on social media and not the parents, which I think is atrocious. I'm like, like, really? You can't just tell your kid, like, stay off of social media, and if they don't listen to you, just look at them and be like, hey. Shut up! You know what I mean? If your kid get out of line, you can't just be like, look, you're not getting on social media. And if I catch you on social media, I don't care what you say or who you call, it's going to be. Simple as that. But you know how these people are. They want to talk to little Jimmy, put Jimmy in timeout, let him think about his feelings, let little Sally or Marissa or whoever the little kid name is, or Shaquita, let her think about her feelings, while all at the same time jamming God knows what music. They want to, how do you feel? What are your feelings? Don't yell at them. But the whole time, you know, there's all sorts of debauchery going on social media. Can't keep your kids away from it. I mean, I don't know how this is going to work out. I just know that if Australia is the first continent to do it, that means 1 down, 6 more to go. Or technically 6, but I mean, I guess you ain't got nobody living in Antarctica, so then that would bring us down to 5. So you got 1 continent down and 5 more to go. So yeah, so with them banning social media in Australia for people under 16 years old, that's gonna be pretty damn critical, I would say. So man, I don't know how I feel about that, but you know, ain't nothing you can do with the situation but just roll with the punches. And that's how things are gonna be. That's how things are gonna roll. So just letting you know that Australia is the first one to ban social media for children under 16. So they're doing it for the benefit of the kids, but I don't think they give a shit about kids. Moving on to the next. So we just had Black Friday in, and we're going to check out how Black Friday went. So here we go right here. It is now that Black Friday weekend is over. People all over are in agreement it was a scam. This is one of the most vital posts I've seen. It says it has over damn near 900,000 likes. Store after store is showing that Americans are getting scammed with markups and fake sales. This is illegal in most states, and it say it's a violation of basically a code and all this stuff, and it prohibits claiming a discount from a former price and all this good stuff. Well, let's see what is the kerfunkel all about. So let's go ahead and pull this up and see. I think it has music, so we're not going to play the music, but we are going to watch the video. So let's go ahead and check it out. As you see here, she has the Black Friday deal, and you saw her pull the sale here right here. The old price was $24.99. Oh my God. Sale $4.29 on both days. So you see people are pulling back sales price. Look at the sales price. It was $18. Look at this. Off $10. The same thing. You peel it back $500. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Buy one, get one free. So for $14, you buy one, get one free. But just last week, the price was $7 each. Look at these discounts, brother. Doing them dirty. Oh, look. Black Friday deal, $2.29. How much was it? It was still $2.29 on sale. You ain't getting no deal. $10. How much was it previously? $10 before Black Friday. Oh, $29.99 previously when Black Friday. Oh, $2. Big discount. What'd I do? Oh man, they got over on the ladies on this one. Oh my goodness. So they're just showing you that all the screwing over that they did. Look at this. The sale was $649.99, but for Black Friday, you save $80 because it was regularly $729.99. Whole Black Friday deal screwing you over like you wouldn't believe. I don't get this one. This one looks like a hell of a deal because if it was $59, oh no, they marked it up. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? They marked that up. Let's roll back that one real quick. $59.99 and then it was $24.99. Jesus. Whew, there it goes again. Black Friday deal was the same. I couldn't see what that one was. She's too short. I got $25. Well, what was the previous price? $18. No. They marked that one up. So it was $18. They marked it up to $25. Okay, I'm trying to understand this one. $10 off, $50 off of $50 or more, $500 off of $500 or more. Peel back to reveal your Black Friday. Use today and take $500. So it's the same deal. Ain't nothing changed. All right, buy one, get one free. Okay, so if you buy one, you get one free. Where we at? So if you buy one for $14, but this one I don't get though. I see the $7 ones right here. I think they try and get over. Threshold candles was $7 already, so you're not really getting a deal. Oh my goodness. So they're just sitting here just screwing people over like crazy. There we go again. $229.99. What's the Black Friday? Oh my goodness. It was on sale. All right, $10. What was the old price? $10. You ain't saving Nathan. $29.99. The old price was $27.99. They went up. They went up. They said Black Friday deal my ass. The deal is for us, not for you. Screw you. Oh my goodness. $13. It went up to $14. They got an extra $1 out your monkey ass. Oh my goodness. Shout out to the Black Friday deals in the building, saving money. Yes. Saving money. Now, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to explain to you how Black Friday works, all right? What they're doing, if you notice, and this is my humble opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm going to say that I'm right. The people who go to the store to shop and can record these things, if you're at the store spending money, they're going to screw you over because you're at the brick and mortar store. But if you buy it online, you probably will get a legit deal online because you spent it online. Because what happens at the store? Number one, people have a higher chance of spending cash at the store. That's number one. Number two, they have to hire employees to work at that store. And number three, they're going to charge you more at the brick and mortar store because why? What are they trying to do? What do you think they're trying to do? They're trying to make it more convenient for you to shop online. Why? Because they want to navigate us to a cashless society. There you go. Yes. See, if I keep screwing you over to go to a brick and mortar store and you keep catching me blatantly because I ain't even hide the shit, I just left it out for you to see. And then you go online and realize like, yo, the deal's better online. Actually, it's a good deal online. You're more prone to be like, well, why do I even want to go to the store? They're like, exactly. Just buy online. We'll actually give you a good deal online. But if you go to the store, you wasted gas, you wasted time, you found out you got screwed over. I mean, we're doing it blatantly. We're not trying to hide anything. We want you to know so you can put it all over social media. Plus, if we get rid of the brick and mortar store, you know how much money we would save? No more electricity, no more employees. Well, like we can get rid of all that shit. So therefore, you guys are really helping us with the agenda that we're trying to fulfill. So, you know, call it a scam if you want to, but you just follow right into our plan, like Mr. Burns would say, right? Was it Mr. Burns? Or was it Mr. Smithers? Whoever it was, it's like, excellent. Yes. So that's why you're seeing all these scams on Black Friday. It makes perfect sense. It's not like they're trying to keep it a secret or anything. Like, they're for sure legitimately, like, they want you to see that you're getting screwed over because you're complaining about it. But at the end of the day, they're like, yes, we know you see it. We want you to see it. We just want to make sure that you feel better shopping online than you do at the store. Okay? What the hell is this? There we go. Fix that. Yes. So that's what they want. They want you to know that that they're screwing you over. They want you to know. They want you to know. So therefore, cashless society is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Cashless society is on the way. Okay, so whoever's spending cash, they're like, we trying to get that shit out because they already got rid of the pennies. You know, they're not making any more pennies. Then after the pennies, it's the nickel. Then once they get rid of the nickel, it's the dime. They're just gonna go up and up and up and up and up, and then it's like, there it go. So there's that. All right, what we got next? So that was just good news for all of you people who went shopping on Black Friday. Unfortunately, it's a very unfortunate situation. Let's see. All right. Well, we'll get to Illhan, right? Illhan, not Elon. It's you have Elon and you have Illhan. I'm gonna call her Omar because it's easier to say Omar than Illhan. But breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Illhan Omar, we have found out that the Minnesota Somalia fraud may have reached $8 billion, and not just $1 billion as it was first reported. Oh my God, I almost screwed that up and said something else. Let's check out this news report of Fox News, aka fake news from President Donald Trump, and see exactly what they have to say about this $8 billion potential fraud that's gone out in Minnesota. Let's hear it here. So you've heard it here. Let's see how this pans out. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy cranked up and let's see what went down. Here we go.
Fraud investigators are finding in Minnesota is growing by the day. Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe the total amount of fraud could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch, but he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again, and he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
Now, isn't Tim Walz part of this shit? You know, homeboy pockets got lined up so well. That's like committing a crime and then putting you on the case to go find yourself for committing a crime. You know, the movie that did this, the movie called The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson. No, I'm talking, yeah, it was Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio, and you had Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg. And Mark Wahlberg was a mole inside of the police academy or the police department, but he was with Jack Nicholson, who was a mafia boss. So Mark Wahlberg was a mafia boss for Jack Nicholson, and he was a mole inside the department. Well, they knew they had a mole inside the department, but they couldn't figure out who. So they put Matt Damon, who was working with the mafia, on the case, who was the head of the part of the department within the police force to go look for who the mole was, but he was a damn mole the whole time. And this is what Tim Walz is, bro. Tim Walz says, we need to go find out, look for who is just like, bro, it's you. It's you, fam. Like, this don't make no sense. This is a clown show. It's like, bro, this happened on your watch, bro. Like we know your pockets is lined up, bro. We know your pockets is lined up. You ain't fooling nobody. You ain't like, come on, fam. Come on, son. Come on, son. Matter of fact, Tim Walz, let me show you, you know what? Let me let the video finish first, and then we'll find out some stuff about Tim Walz. So let's finish this video.
And in spite of the headwinds we're up against, Minnesota ranks economically, economic growth, happiness, number of people insured, education levels, near the very top. So I'll tell you what, I have no interest in having this state look like Oklahoma or Mississippi. And if folks are going to commit crimes here, thinking because our generous spirit and our programs that we have is going to give them some kind of cover, they are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, Minnesota is also now home to the single largest pandemic fraud scheme in the country. And Republicans argue that Walz and other Democrats opened the door to this by fraud. Investigators.
All right, so Tim Walz over there on some bullshit. So as we know, it's on his dime, it's on his watch, you know, his pockets got lined up. Now, for whoever took them PPP loans out, I will say they're probably going to catch those people because that required paperwork for you to fill out. So if you took a PPP loan, I think you're going to catch wreck because of the fact that you did have to put information on those PPP loans.
Is growing.
Oh, easy there, buddy. So that's one thing I'm kind of, you know, I mean, they say they got some people, but we gonna see if it's true or not. But there's been a lot of crap going on. Now, there's something I also want to put on about Tim Walz. This is the same guy, if I'm not mistaken. We have a video of Tim Walz, okay? And before you let me just make sure we got the right guy, okay? So this is Tim Walz right here. In case you didn't know, here's Tim Walz, okay? We just seen him give a report, okay? This is good old Tim Walz, the guy who was involved in making all this money. You know, he's a professional liar, scammer, thief, on top of everything else. You know, he's part of the biggest fraud in history, and he's making it seem like he didn't get a dime out of all this. It's like, okay, son, All right, bro. We know how you operate, bro. You're a Democrat. We get it. I mean, don't get it twisted. Republicans gonna scam just like the Democrats will. But right now, we focus on you. And bro, you gonna tell me you didn't get not $1 out of all this scamming? You didn't get $1. Like, you had no clue. You had no clue. Like, come on, son. PPP scams this is from 2020. I think this shit go all the way back to like 2016. But we gonna go to 2020, 2019. You been telling me they been scamming you for all these years and you ain't see nothing, bro. You ain't see nothing. I mean, if I was you, I would have said the same thing. So that's why I can't blame you or fault you, because I'd have been like, yeah, I ain't see nothing. I mean, if they did this, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, and we're gonna find out who did this and get them to justice. Because Minnesota's built on happiness, family, job, protection, all these clown ass words. Anyway, so here's Tim Walz. All right, but also, here's Tim Walz as well. Like, let's take a look at old Tim. Oh my goodness. Oh no, is this Tim? Oh my God, brother. Oh God, Tim, it can't be. Oh, break it down. Oh, and dude's in the back with his ass out with his chaps on. Oh, and they got a handicapped gay dude back there too. They are debaucherous, boy. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Oh, my eyes. Oh, I can't take no more. Jesus, stop it. He got the choreographed. He got the whole choreograph down pat, boy. Look at him. Oh my God. Look at the big boy move. Look at the big boy move. Oh my gosh. And okay, Tim, get off the screen. I'm gonna clip this in a short. Oh my gosh. Oh, Tim, I hope that wasn't you. Hopefully I made a mistake. I'm going to hope I made a mistake. Hopefully somebody calls me out and says, "Sir, that's not Tim. You made a mistake. You look like a fool." And I hope that person's right and I'm wrong. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to say, Minnesota, he scammed the shit out of y'all. Minnesota guy was scammed, bro. He scammed y'all, bro. Ain't no way. Oh my goodness, what is going on in this video? This video is crazy. Oh my goodness, this video is wild. All right, Tim. Hey, man, all right, Tim. Calm down, bro. Calm down. Now, if you, I mean, the Somalians is like Muslim Islam, right? Islam, Muslims. Isn't Muslim and Islam like the same thing? Muslim, Islam. Is Islam and Muslim the same thing? Ain't they like both? Let me see. Muslims and Islam the same. Let me figure this out. All right, because I get it confused. Islam refers to the religion, while Muslim is an individual who practices Islam. Okay, I thought so. Christianity. Okay, I thought so. So the same thing, just about. So I guess when it comes to money, you know, I guess Islam don't hate gay people that much. Because I'm pretty sure Omar is like Muslim or Islam, all right? I think she's Muslim, right? I would say so, but I digress. Anyhow, let's go ahead and talk some more about Illhan Omar. Says she's losing it because President number 47 commented, and he said some pretty harsh things, I might add. He was going in on these people. We're going to leave that one there. Let me see if we can find out what Trump said, because Trump was like, he put his foot in knee deep in their ass when he made a statement the other day, and it was pretty harsh. It almost hurt my feelings. I was like, sheesh. Donald, easy there, buddy, easy. Let me find the video that he said what he said. Let's see. What did Donald, he said, what did he say? Let's see, Donald Trump on, I don't know how to spell her name, but he went in. Where's the video where he went in? Because he did say some stuff, bro. He said some stuff. He went in. I think I have the video right here. I think I'm just overthinking it. I think this is it. Right here. I think this is the video where he speaks on how he feels about these people. So let's go ahead and let him speak his piece.
Was SNAP reform, food stamp reform. When all of America saw what some have moved off of food stamp benefits since time, said yet.
Nope, that's not it. Is this it right here?
We set out to stop.
Nah, this isn't it. Where's the one where Trump went in and called them some names? He went in because I got to put the 2 and 2 together. You know what? I'll just find it on YouTube real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see. Trump calls out Omar. Let's see. Trump calls out Omar. Omar, yeah, here we go. Yeah. Trump went in, boy. He was upset at these people, and then I think it struck a nerve with her. I think it hurt her fifis.
I think we have.
So let's go ahead and dive in and hear Mr. 47 speak some words of wisdom. Here we go. Let's get it.
I think we have a tremendous bench, really a tremendous bench. But no, I think that Waltz is a grossly incompetent man. There's something wrong with him.
You don't say. Is there something wrong with Tim Waltz? Let's see. Oh my God. Is there something wrong with Tim Waltz, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on. Wait a minute.
And the nominees for Best Actress in a Groovy Nightclub Drama, Miss Wayman Harrington.
Okay. There's something wrong with him. And when you look at what he's done with Somalia, which is barely a country, you know, they have no anything. They just run around killing each other. There's no structure. And when I see somebody like Illhan Omar, who I don't know at all, but I always watch her for years. I've watched her complain about our Constitution, how she's being treated badly. Our Constitution, the United States of America, is a bad place. Hates everybody, hates Jewish people, hates everybody. And I think she's an incompetent person. She's a real terrible person. But when I watch what is happening in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, or however many lakes they have, they got a lot of lakes, but this beautiful place, and I see these people ripping it off, and now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that, Scott, I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them the hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Illhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
The president has.
Okay, well, Buddy went ahead and spoke his piece, so I'm going to give him a round of applause, but at the same time, he did say something that was true. He said the country's at an inflection point, which I'm going to have to agree with him tremendously on that. And he's like, look, if we're going to go one way or another, I think when it's all said and done, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to go in the positive direction. I don't. I think it's going to get really, I think it's going to go in the wrong direction when it's all said and done. I just don't see it going in the right direction. When it's all said and done, I mean, I looked at President Trump as like, you're postponing the inevitable, like, because we already seen the writing on the wall, and this right here after this Omar the Omar chick. After seeing this Omar chick do all this fraud, everything started to make sense. It was like, so this explains why all these Latino people have a shitload of, like government benefits. Like, they got the housing and all this stuff and everything. And Trump pointed out that as long as they made $30,000, they would get $50,000 to help supplement or take care of their family. And if this is done with Somalians, just imagine what other immigrants this is done to. Don't just think Somalia. Think of all the immigrants. Don't just think of these people. Although this is the biggest fraud in a state history ever, think of all the other ones. If you live in a city or where you see a bunch of immigrants, like in Austin, Texas, there's a shitload of them. It's crazy. Like, you can't ignore it. It's like, damn, where are these fuckers coming from? Or why they all got nice cars? And I mean, they get apartments like this. It's like they just get in and out of apartment, in and out of apartment. And it's like, how the hell are they doing this? Well, when this is peeled back from Minnesota, it kind of explains a lot. And then you go and I did the video where you saw the Islams over in Dallas, where they got mosque, homes, roads, schools, playgrounds, street names after them, all sorts of stuff. So Trump says we're at an inflection point. He's right. And we're going to go one direction or another. Like I always said, at a point in time, there was the United States and there was Russia, the two big superpowers, right? Then the USSR came and overtook Russia and went from a capitalist to a communist regime. So one of the superpowers got taken down. That was back in like 1917, all the way up until the dissolve in 1991. Now, there's good things to say about that and there's bad things to say about that. I've did videos explaining how the Red October, the Bolshevik Revolution, the turning point into communism, how brutal and violent it was, and then to how life in USSR, Soviet Union was, and how some people had nothing but good to say about it. They were like, it was great, it was good. We had free healthcare, education, and what was it? Free healthcare, free education, and free something else. But one lady said their dentist was straight ass. They said they dentistry was trash. But they said there was more people, more kind. Everybody was on one accord together. Then they said when it dissolved in the 90s, they said the 90s were hell when it dissolved. So you had mixed feelings, but that initial turning point from capitalist to communism from 1917 and probably for the next 20 years up to like 1935 and 1940, it was brutal. It was just straight brutal because that transition phase, it seems like the transition phase from capitalist to communist or communist to capitalist is always like bloody and extremely violent and terrible. But on the back end, what you find out was that, there was a whole lot of banker stuff going on in the background. All that Warner stuff went on. Bankers made out like a bandit, and then they implemented communism, all that good stuff or bad stuff. So what I'm saying is Trump says we're at an inflection point. I believe him. I'm like, yeah, we're at an inflection point. Yeah, we are. And the America's now the other superpower that has never gotten taken over. And they are ready to take it over. You know what I mean? They like, yo, it's about that time we take over America at some point. I don't agree with it, but if you look at how the dominoes are laid out, we headed, my humble opinion, I believe we're heading to the Great Depression 3.0. I mean, we headed in the Great Depression 3.0. I've showed you stock markets and all this stuff. Like, I feel like at some point we're going to head to a epic crash. And it's like the roaring 20s in the 1900s. The roaring 20s in the 1900s, the stock market did like this in the 1920s. Then when it came crashing down right before the 1930s, oh, it took a 73% drop from the peak all the way to the bottom. 73, I believe. I believe it was 73% drop. That's brutal. Now, if you look at the numbers from then to now, I think our numbers are worse now. Like our numbers are more steep now than it was back then. So I wonder if this second Great Depression hits, is it going to be an 80 to 85% drop? As long as you got money stashed up on the sidelines, buddy, you good. You finna make out like a bandit when it comes time to rebound. Because it's buy low, buy the dip. If you got money to buy the dip and you can weigh the storm, you good. You good. You ain't got nothing to worry about. You're gonna play your cards right. You're gonna be in there like swimmer. You're gonna be like, thank you, Lord. This is the greatest crash of all time. So I feel like, yeah, we're at that inflection point where there's a transition period, and it seems like Yuri, the KGB officer Yuri, everything he spoke on as far as the demoralization of a country, like everything is complete. And he said that back in the 80s. Like everything's ready to go. It's ripe. It's ready to go. It's just everything is just lining up, you know, and there's a whole different culture coming in. They're in Congress in different places. It's like, yeah, we had an inflection point. All right. I see it going in that direction. It's not going to be good. It ain't. I always look at Trump as he's the one postponing it. He's postponing it. So let's go ahead and hear what Miss Illhan had to say about Trump digging in her ass, basically saying how he felt. So let's hear what her response is to Trump speaking on her, because she felt some type of way. So let's see what she has to say real quick. So here we go. Let's see. Yeah, she's losing it when Trump made comments about Somalia being garbage, and that they said that really rattled her. So let's see what she has to say about this. So here we go. Let's hear her words and see what she has to say.
He's always been a racist, a bigot, a xenophobic, and Islamophobic. We know that he called African nations a shithole in his first administration. We know that when he came down that escalator, he said he was going to stop Muslim immigration into this country. And so it is not surprising that he is going after black immigrants in this country. And it's certainly not surprising that he's choosing a black immigrant community that is also Muslim. But what I would like to say is that most of us are citizens. On our passport, it says we are nationals of this country. We love that Minnesota has welcomed us. Many of us have not been settled in Minnesota. We chose it as a home because the Minnesota people and the state is beautiful and very welcoming. And we are going to be here regardless of what the president has to say.
I agree. I love the...
Wait a minute. Black immigrants? What the hell is a black immigrant? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. She said black immigrants. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Hi, doctor.
Good morning, young lady.
Hi, doctor.
Whoa. Good Lord, Dr. Umar, get the hell off my damn screen. All right, hold on. Somalis are black immigrants? I don't think that's correct. Hold on. She said black immigrants, but he's talking about Somalians. There's no black immigrant. Hold on. All right, so here we go. Let's see what the Somalis think about being quote unquote black. All right, let's figure this out real quick. Let me see if I got this right. Let's see. Let's hear what a Somali has to say about this. Hey, are you Somalian? Tell us what you think about being black. Here we go.
We are Somalis, not black. There, I said it. All right, everyone is keep asking, why don't Somalis want to identify as black? It's simple. The term black was never a word to begin with. Yeah. The term black, it didn't come from Africa. It came from America. Hello. Right? It was designed to separate slaves from Europeans. It was not designed to celebrate identity. It was to control it. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, there's one. Maybe he isn't the one to ask. So let's ask another one.
All Somalis.
All right, here we go. Let's see what this guy says. Let's see. We have another Somali. He says, "Are Somalis considered black?" Let's see what he says. Here we go.
Are Somalis considered black? I'm sorry to be the one that sparks this debate, but it has to be done. I used to be of the opinion back in the day that, of course, we're black. Somalis, look at our skin tone. But as the years went on, my opinion started to change. If you're asking, are Somali skin tone black? Then, of course, yes, our skin tone is. But then I realized as the years went on, it's nothing to do with skin tone, because even people who are considered black come in different shades of black.
Blackness has nothing to do with...
Okay. So there's two. So then, okay, well, hold on. Maybe these people don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they just talking. Let's just keep going. Let me see. Let's see. Let's find another Somalian. Our Somalian, come on, where are you Somalis at? Here we go. Here we go. We have another Somalian. Let's see what they think. Somalians, are you black? Let's see.
Why do you man find it so hard to flip and believe that Somalis, we're not black, bro. We're not black. And all these ones are saying we're Arab. We're not Arab as well, broski. We're not black. We're not Arab. We're Somali. Let's stick to that, yeah? We're Somali.
Okay. He says we're not black. He even said we're not Arab. Okay. Oh, God. No more Dr. Umar. All right. Well, there's another one. Okay, let's... Okay, here we go. Let's try another one.
We ain't got time.
Here we go. Let's try another one. This woman, she has... If you can see on the screen, it says, "I'm not black, I'm Somalian." So let's just see what this says.
Time for games. If you don't want to be African, no problem. Get away from me. We ain't got time for games. If you don't want to be African.
It says, "I'm not black, I'm Somalian." It says it right here on the screen. She's making it clear. And this lady says, "I keep telling them, girl," look like a Somali right here. Okay, so this is confusing. Whoa, this is confusing. So then why did she, where is she? Where are you at? Where you at, girly? Where you at? So then why did she say this? Okay, let me figure out why did she say this?
Not surprising that he's choosing a black immigrant community that is also Muslim. But what I would like to say is that most of us are citizens. On our passport, it says we are nationals of this country, in this country, and it's certainly not surprising that he's choosing a black immigrant community that is also Muslim. But what I would like...
So which one is it? Is it black when it benefits you or what? Because it seems like the rest of your people is not about that life. They're not agreeing with you at all. I'm trying to figure this out, but what she says and what they are saying, let me see.
I don't care.
Let me try one more. Let's see what he says. Here we go.
If I'm the first person to say this, but us Somalis are not.
And who cares that you're not black?
Okay, well, he cut him off, but he was about to say he's not. So then what is she talking about then? I'm trying to figure this out. She's not making any sense. Like, what's going on? I mean, it sounds like you're in panic mode. Here we go.
After black immigrants into this country. And so it is going to stop Muslim immigration into this country. And so it is not surprising that he is going after black immigrants in this country. And it's certainly not surprising that he's choosing a black immigrant community that is also Muslim. But what I would like to say is that most of us are citizens on our...
Okay, so all right, I'm confused. All right, well, she feels a certain way, and now one thing she is saying is that she's saying her paperwork is straight. So she's like, look, we here the right way. You cannot deport us. She's saying that their paperwork is legit. She said they came in the right way. There ain't nothing wrong that they did. So even if you do try to deport us, even with all this fraud, ain't nothing you can do, buddy. We here and we did it right, regardless if you think we did it wrong. You can't prove anything, regardless of how hard you come down with any kind of court battles, because you can't. We studied your laws and we did it right, allegedly, or we got some pull from your own people. Like I said, Trump said we're at an inflection point. I believe him, and I believe it's going to go in the wrong direction because, like I said, the USSR was a superpower and it got taken down. And the America was the other superpower during that time. Or Russia and America were the two superpowers, and then Russia got taken down and became the USSR, right? So I'm like, they just took that playbook from over here and brought it over here. It just takes time. 100-year plan. It just takes time, and they're about to nail it in the coffin. I think so. I don't want them to, but it's just like if you look at everything and look how far back they've been going, you can't ignore it. It's like shit. However, the story gets deeper. Yeah, the story gets much deeper. We have here, please know that Illhan's father was a colonel in the radical Marxist, Leninist, communist revolutionaries who killed to gain and control Somalis, and they fled to the USA to avoid the punishment they earned. Oh boy. All right, so here we go right here. We have this right here showing that they have a history. And just to make sure I got this correctly, let's just dive a little, let's just dive a little bit deeper into this history. All right, I want to show one more thing about this history real quick, which is, where is it at? Let's see, is it the Prime Minister of Somalia? Let's see, what did he say? I think that guy has some choice words. Prime Minister of Somalia, let's see, speaks on Illhan Omar. Oh, I think that was it right there. Where we at? Where you at, buddy? Here you are. Here you are. Okay, so let's hear this guy right here. Let's see what he says. So they have the former Somalian Prime Minister Hassan Ali Khair. Hopefully I said your name right. He says Illhan Omar doesn't represent the interests of Minnesota or Americans. Her interests are the Somalian people in Somalia. Her success is Somalia's success. Somalia removed him from the office in 2020 in a no confidence vote with 170 of 178 MPs backing the motion for failing to move towards democratic elections. So let's hear what this guy has to say right here. So let's hear him chat it up.
Omar oo magaca Soomaaliya qalin dahab ah ku qortay. Qadiyadda Illhan ma aha qadiyad Illhan. Ma aha qadiyad Minnesota. Ma aha qadiyad reer Mareykan. Qadiyadda Illhan waa qadiyad Soomaaliyeed. guusha Illhan waa guusha Soomaaliyeed waxayna noo ximbaarsan tahay macno weyn. Aniga oo ku hadlaya magaca dadka Soomaaliyeed oo dhan meel walba ay joogaan, waxaan idinka codsanayaa inaad hiil iyo hool la garab istaagtaan, ku taageertaan codkiina, dariskiina, saaxiibadiin, cid walba ood garanaysaan aad u sheegtaan inay soo baxaan si ay Illhan ugu codeeyaan. albaab walbana aad u garaacdaan sidii dib loogu dooran lahaa. Ballanteenu waa maxay? Ballanteenu waa inaad garab iyo gaashaan u noqotaan xildhibaan Illhan oo aad mar kale dib u doorataan idinkoo isku duuban oo ul iyo diira. Mar kale mahadsanidin. Allah idin barakeeyo. Soomaaliya ha noolaato.
All right, well, it seems like they have their infiltration plan on point, and you see all of those people are on one accord and they are locked and ready to go. And they are going to the ballots with their votes to support Illhan Omar. And as we have here, like I said right here, we have this thing right here, which says that her father was a colonel and a radical Marxist Leninist. So let's dive in deep and let's give this a little bit of a read. And it says that Illhan Omar's father, wait, hold on. Somebody's trying to put some funny stuff into my chat. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. All right. Illhan Omar's father and the Isaac genocide, the truth revealed. All right. So we'll just read a little piece of this right here. We're not going to get a whole lot. We just got to get a little bit right here. Between 1981 and 1991 is when the USSR dissolved. The Somali military, in which Colonel Nur Omar Mohammed, Illhan Omar's father, served as a senior officer and executed a brutal systematic campaign of genocide targeting these Siak people. Maybe I can't show that picture on YouTube of the modern day Republic of Somaliland. This dark chapter in Africa's history, which was known as the Isaac genocide, was a merciless military campaign that resulted in the unaliving of 200,000 Siak Isaac civilians. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It has also involved widespread focused displacement, scorched earth destruction of the second and third largest cities, Hargeisa and Barao. Aerial bombardment of almost every other single city, town, and village in Somaliland, and 2 decades of large-scale Red Terror style tactics against civilian population of Somaliland. Jesus. All right, let me scroll down a little bit because they got some human remains as the photos, what they show, Somali bodies, which is pretty ruthless, which is pretty brutal. We'll read a little bit more, then we'll press on. So here we go here. Let's see. It was carried out through relentless air bombardments, planes repeatedly Stafford fleeing refugees, summary executions, burning of entire villages, deportation, land mining of water sources and homes, Holodomor-style government-enforced man-made famines. Oh my good Lord. If you don't know anything about a Holodomor, look at what a Holodomor is. They did that to the Ukrainian people, which was, my gosh, if that's what they're comparing it to, that's brutal. And the use of paramilitary units such as the Somalia Armed Forces, the Dabar Goyet Isaac, the Isaac Exterminate is what they call them, composed exclusively of non-ethically Isaac soldiers to enact mass unalivings under Somalia's military directions. And eyewitness testimony documented mass executions by firing squad, forced disappearances, looting, mass torture, mass surveillance. Wow, grape used as a weapon, curfews and mass unalivings of civilians in areas with limited resistance or lawful liberation movement activities, such as in Berbera, where thousands of government soldiers were stationed. Isaac civilians across what was the Somali Republic were detained and executed en masse by Somali government execution squads led by colonels like Illhan Omar's father. Whoo! I don't know how true that is. I don't know the source on this, but it's floating around, Twitter. So if that's true, then that's what it is. And I also heard that Omar is not the official last name. I also heard that. I heard that Omar is not their official last name. I heard they have a different last name, actually. Let me see if I can find what that last name is that they go by, because they said that that's not the true last name of these people. Let's see. What is the true last name? Illhan Nur Saeed Elmi. E-L-M-I. Elmi. For those who don't know, Illhan is not who she says she is. It says that the original Omar family were in Arlington, Virginia. Illhan's father split up after leaving Russia, and some made their way to Europe and the rest to USA. Illhan's full name is Illhan Nur Saeed Elmi. I don't know if she's married. In order not to be associated with her father's military career in communist Russia and Somalia, the family changed their name and claimed to be refugees fleeing war in Somalia. In fact, they were refugees. She confirmed her real name in a deleted tweet in 2013. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Whoo. So she says she's trying to separate herself from her father, allegedly, but I mean, it seems like the way you're moving, you move just like your father, sweetie. It seems like it. They said that because of her father's background, because of her father's background, he was a colonel in Saeed Barre's Somalia army during the 1970s, 1980s Ogaden War. Barr's regime, aligned with Soviet Union, adopted Marxist-Lenin scientific socialism. And Mohammed served under Barr during the 87-89 genocide that I just told you about. And this history raises questions about Illhan Omar's family ties to authoritarianism and mass atrocity. So does Illhan Omar, or Illhan, should I say Illhan, what is your last name? Nur Saeed Elmi. Is that her ideology coming into the country? Because the way she's operating, it does seem that way. It actually does. Because, I mean, if what they're unveiling is true, you would have think that people would have got rounded up by now and, you know, been in handcuffs and, you know, put in jail and all this stuff. But I don't see any of that happen. They say they did. And then with the money, what you gonna do with all the money? If it's billions of dollars that was stolen and you can't get the money back or make nobody pay back the money and you don't go to jail, you sound like a U.S. politician. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. If you pulled all that off, got the money, didn't go to jail, somebody, you know, some peons took the fall, you sound like a U.S. politician. Just saying. Call a spade a spade. It is what it is. Anyway, well, that's it for that situation of the show. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. Let's move on to the next thing that I have. We got 45 minutes. Let's see what we got here. We have Democrats, what they did. And we're going to look into something that Elon Musk has uncovered. This is a long video, but I don't want to play the whole thing, but this should be nothing new to anybody, but this kind of weighs in on what they found as opposed to what they're doing. Because it's like you found it, but it's like, what happens? You know what I mean? Is there an immediate effect? Does the effect come down the line? If another president comes in, if it's a Democrat, you're screwed. But if it's a Republican, you're probably screwed too. If there's, because, you know, if you could have, I've showed a video where in the 1950s it said, how do you spot a commie or a communist? And they showed 4 different kind of communists, and the 5th one was the hidden kind, where they pretend to be conservative or Republican, but they're disguised as a conservative or a Republican, but they're really a communist. So it's like, you know, and they even showed them marching. They had them marching with the little pickets with the traditional people, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. They were marching, but it's like these are covert communists and they're blending in, acting like they. So it's like, that's why I believe when Trump said we're at an inflection point, I'm like, he right. And he said we can go one way or another. I'm like, I think we're gonna go the wrong way. There's too many things pointing in the direction of how things are gonna go. And what better way? All these people are all these people at the top are making out like a bandit on so many different like financial decisions, financial choices, financial runaways. They're making all this financial money, right? And they're not getting persecuted. So then when the next Great Depression hits, they got money on the sideline to buy the dip or to stock up on whatever resources. So when the prices go low and they start to go up, they'll be like forever rich. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. I mean, there's no other way to look at it because it's where we're headed. It's what's going on. You can't ignore it. You see it. Anyway, we got this right here. It says, holy crap. Democrats. Let's see. Let me pull this in so you can see it better. That's what she said. It says, holy crap. Democrats did give millions of illegals Social Securities. They were registering to vote Musk has confirmed that they did. Democrats qualified illegals for max Social Security benefits. They enrolled in Medicaid. Okay, most of the stuff we've seen already. All right, so then we have a video down here where it's going to show that they explain this. And let's just let them explain a little bit of it, because I don't want to go in too deep on this. It's just kind of like hitting, beating a dead horse over the head, because we already heard them go over this over and over and over. So let's just exactly see what they uncover, but it's about the same thing. But let's just kind of see, because as you see right here, they have this, but I'm gonna let them talk about it, because this is the 2024 to 2025. But let's let them talk. I'm gonna let them speak on it.
How many Social Security numbers were issued? Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of it?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff that we're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister are all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed this in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today.
So yeah, so it's not a lot of non-citizens with Social Security numbers issued, or whatever the fact is. But my question is the damage done to a point where you can't fix it? You know what I mean? Like FUBAR at this point? You know what I mean? Like that's what I think. I think it's FUBAR, because, I mean, Buddy here, where you at? Buddy right here. Him and his people made this speech when he was making this speech right here that I showed y'all earlier. He was speaking on Illhan, Representative Illhan Omar, who has written the name of Somalia with a golden pen. So they got her back all the way. They know what they're doing. The interests of Illhan are not the Illhans or Illhan. It's not the interests of Minnesota, nor is it the interests of the American people. The interest of Illhan is that of the Somalian people of Somalia. So this was from, I don't know when this was from, but whoever this dude was, Somalia removed him from office in 2020. But it doesn't change the fact that what he's saying holds weight. So wherever she goes, she's going to take her people with her, which I understand. Who wouldn't? That's what you're supposed to do. However, the question arises is this all by design or by invasion? That's the question. Is it by design or is it by invasion? Like, intentionally? Because if the Democrats and Tim Walz and all these people, if Tim Walz let all this happen in his state, he ain't blind to it. He ain't stupid. This was intentional. $8 billion, up to $8 billion in fraud of money, and people are like, yeah, they're gonna get them. It's like, I mean, if you black in this country, you've seen them go after you for worse. For way smaller. Like, if you're black in this country, you've seen these people crack down on you for we've seen a lot of situations. Like, they got a hold of George Floyd. You know what I mean? I don't like to use him as an example, but like, they got a hold of him off of a freaking phone call from the cops to show up at a store for shoplifting or whatever, however that situation rolled out. There's been a bunch of situations that happen where you're like, they got the hand on the person, or they went and got the person who did something. This situation is like fraud, money with the terrorists, billions of dollars, working with people inside of their own government. And then people who get arrested, they're like, there's 86 indictments and 79 are Somalians. It's like, yeah, those are called the fall guy and the peons. Like, what do you do with them? yeah, they got the money, but what about the people who were able to pull these things off? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost like it's set up for the, it's almost like it's set up because it's like they're setting up the conquering of the world superpowers. Like they're trying to set it up, but make it look like they're fighting. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like to me. Because, I mean, there's no way you can pull this shit off in America and not get a hold of you. If they really wanted you, they would have. But with so many people infighting, race this, race that, people who believe in communism versus capitalism, family unit destroyed, male versus female gender war, classes versus each other, you know what I mean? Rich versus poor, the rich people are creating a wage gap from poor. I mean, it's just like so many different religion, Islam versus Christianity, like all these different inbreeds of fighting within the country makes it ripe for the taking. You know what I mean? People fighting in the military. The military has been weak, just like the military was weak before it got taken over there in the USSR. It had a big military, but it was weak. It was on a bad leadership. And it's kind of like where we're at now. You know what I mean? The past, 5 or 10 years, the military, as we all seen, people out of shape. People don't follow standards. You hear bad leadership. You hear old guys that used to be in the military talking about that's what they got out. It's not what it used to be. Like all these things make it ripe for the taking. Like all these things, you just see it. It's like the writing's on the wall. It's up to you if you want to believe it or not. All right, so let's see here. We're gonna go to the actual video that I had to go over. This guy breaks down Scottish family law. And he breaks down communism and feminism. This is the original what I was supposed to go over. So I got to go over this, and then I got to jump to the next video of the World Economic Forum job report, because we got to get over that as well before it's time for me to dip up out of here, because I got stuff I got to take care of. But let's go ahead and see this guy who's going to break down, it says Scottish family law, but he's going to break down feminism and communism, and he's going to see if there's a benefit to communism for women, or is it just basically a tactic to destroy the nuclear family, which I think we already know the answer. But this is Scottish family law. Let's hear what he has to say about it. He's going to read you Scottish family law. Very interesting. So here we go. Whoops. Let me pull up on the screen. There he is, and here we go. Let's hear him.
Since the fathers of communism, anti-family ideology has run through politics. The problems with the family are seen to be threefold. Number one, families are diverse, bringing up children differently, and therefore offend against equality. The government must therefore take over as much of the child rearing process as possible to achieve uniformity. Alleged problem number two, families tend to lead to mothers and fathers assuming different roles, and this offends against equality. The government must therefore do all in its power to encourage mothers to enter paid employment. Alleged problem number three, families uphold values and principles that may differ from those approved of by the government. The government should therefore use the educational system to vigorously promote the officially approved points of view. What I want to do in this video is just have a little look at some of the quotations from the fathers of communism. I've got a little book here, The Woman Question, and it's got quotations from Karl Marx, Stalin, Lenin.
Now, he made 3 good points. Hopefully we caught the 3 good points. I'm going to go over them real quick again, and we're going to just zip past this. So here we go.
Much of the child rearing process as possible to achieve uniformity. Alleged problem number two, families tend to lead to mothers and fathers assuming different roles, and this offends against equality.
So mothers and fathers having different roles in the family structure, so promoting equality within the family unit. So basically trying to implement their guidelines inside the family unit and stepping out of the traditional norms, which would be religion or Bible, anything of that nature. And let me see what the first one was.
Through politics. The problems with the family are seen to be threefold. Number one, families are diverse, bringing up children differently, and therefore offend against equality. The government must therefore take over as much of the child rearing process as possible to achieve uniformity.
So basically, put your kid in public school and not homeschool them. That would be the first one. So they want to take over the kid and indoctrinate the kid socially first. So the kid, they take care of the kid. Then they go to the woman and they get the woman to fight with the man because they want her to be equal to the man and bicker with the man in the house. So now they got the kid. Then the two are now fighting against each other inside the home because the woman is under some kind of programming to be like, hey, we should be equal. But it's like there's two different roles because we have two different powers. But it's like, no, we don't. We're equal. And it's like, no, we don't have. We're not equal. We have two different powers. But you know, but that's the first two. Let's see what the third one is.
Power to encourage mothers to enter paid employment. Alleged problem number 3. Families uphold values and principles that may differ from those approved of by the government. The government should therefore use the educational system to vigorously promote the officially approved points of view. Another one's doing this.
So basically, the government becomes your God in that third one. The government is basically like your religion, is like your Bible. And then they want to put the woman to pursue employment outside of the home. Because if the man's working, she can work too. Just competition within the home instead of collective thinking, which was what a family should be. A family should be collective thinking, group thinking. But when you take that away, you have what you have. You have fighting within the nuclear family, which then causes a divide. So let's continue.
This video and influential figures in communism. So I'm going to read through them and just have a look at what they've got to say. Okay, so we're starting off there saying women need emancipating. So they're currently in slavery or bondage of some form. And the solution to that, the only solution to that, is entering paid employment, to the point that only an insignificant amount of the time is spent on domestic work.
So I went over this before and I've showed a video where a woman spoke on it. She said that what happens when women get a lot of money, sex goes up, families go down. And then also show whenever you looked at communism in the Soviet Union, you also saw that when women got rights, what happens is promiscuity goes up, birth rates decline. And I believe that this is just a part of a 100-year cycle. This is just a cycle that we go through. You just have to know how to operate in between cycles. That's all it is at the end of the day. It's not one is bad and one is good. It's more like this is just the natural cycle of life, and nobody lives long enough to be able to live through both cycles. You know, so we have to try to figure out like, hey, what do we do? We're changing. How do we operate when shit changes and we don't know? So it's like, so that's basically what it is. We're just going through an economic cycle, and then the powers are changing over. So now the women are in power. And what does a world look like when women are in power? Well, a lot of blood has to be shed. That's first and foremost. And because of the transition and the change. So then what's going to happen and what is the world going to look like when you have a woman dominated? But this time when the woman dominates, it's going to be at the biggest of AI. That's going to be one of the big things. AI. Who's going to be in control of AI, man or woman? I think that's one of the big things we have to pay attention to. Well, let's go.
Okay, let's stick with Engels. Let's see what he says next. Then it will be plain that the first condition for the liberation of the wife is to bring the whole female sex back into public industry, and that this in turn demands the abolition of the monogamous family as the economic unit of society. Now, the interesting thing here is this saying that that's the only way, that's the first condition. This has to happen in order to achieve the progress that he wants. It's got to be women working instead of being in the home. The abolition of the monogamous family as the economic unit of society. Now, that's in the sense in which that's been fulfilled. If you look at the tax system in Britain, married couples, the men and women, are treated as individuals rather than as an economic unit. Now, let's move on. Who have we got next? We've got one from Lenin this time. Let's see what Lenin.
Interesting. Said the married couples are treated as individuals instead of an economic, I think is what he said. But he resulted it back to taxes, basically. He pulled it back to taxes and was like, basically, you just make more money at the end of the day. So this government system is going to make more money when you can pull women out of the home. You don't want a strong man with a strong-minded woman and children behind him with a family backing him, or with a strong woman in the background also pushing. Because think about it. The family unit will be in today's world. In today's world, let me go on my soapbox real quick. In today's world, a family unit would be so freaking strong if the man still was going out as the primary breadwinner, the woman homeschooled the kids, but however, the woman could still be at home and utilize social media as her gains to make money. So the two could, so she could still work, but it's like, let him go and be, you know, the head of the household and be the breadwinner, and she can sit back and make, you know, take care of the family, but also utilize social media, because women do usually on the majority aspect of it do better social media wise, as they garner more attention because they got titties and ass. Here's what it is. So they can garner more attention. They can pull more attention. Plus the algorithm goes in their favor. You know what I mean? It goes in their favor. So she could benefit with living at home with the kids, making money at home via social media, while the man goes out and work, so they can use that family unit to drive and build an empire. However, this poison, this demonic spirit, this evil is going in their brains and is causing friction. And that's why they have to do this, because in a social media, a computer, digital world that we live in, the man and woman could be extremely powerful and potent if they worked as a unit. However, these powers that be, they know this shit. And they're like, we cannot let these fuckers get on one accord in a digital social media world. We wouldn't be able to stop them. And there's only so many who are going to be able to pull this off. Very, very few. And they know this. They know this. But let's continue.
Lenin's got to say. Up to the present, the position of women has been such that it is called a position of slavery. Women are crushed by their domestic drudgery, and only socialism can relieve them from this drudgery. When we shall pass on from small household economy to social economy and to social tilling of the soil. Again, women are in slavery. The only way they can be rescued from it, the socialists are coming to rescue women from being in the home, from bringing up their own children, from homemaking, where they're being crushed, apparently. And this can only be, they can only be saved from this by entering employment, paid employment.
And the employment that they get into would be their own business, but it's just they instill that competition inside of her head, so she competes with the man, and it just turns into crap. It's just like, man, it could be a force to be reckoned with if they got on the right accord and operated within a covenant. But the thing is that you got one ideology, which is traditional, which I guess you can say is Bible, and then you got the other ideology, which is progressive, which almost seems satanic when you look at how they move, and they can't come together because you can't serve two masters. You know what I mean? Like, one's not. It's like one wants their ideology on top, the other wants their ideology on top. One's like tradition and God, the other one's like Satan and progressivism, and that you can't merge them. They're never going to work. If you merge this one, you get a weak man. If you merge this one, you get a strong woman, but it's you get a strong woman. However, the man is the head of the household, and the woman isn't weak. She's just inferior to the man, but she's not weak. She has a strength that he doesn't have. So they put their strengths together and they connect like a yin and a yang. But when you say words like inferior, man, head of household, it triggers them, and it's like, it's almost like stink meter. They like head start spinning. They're like, what you say, nigga? They start going crazy. So it just won't clash. So you have to just get rich and figure this shit out on your own.
Their position is still a restricted one. In order to achieve the complete emancipation of women and to make them really equal with men, we must have social economy and the participation of women in general productive labour. Then women will occupy the same position as men. So it's partly to rescue women from this alleged domestic slavery, but it's also for them to occupy the same position. It's to do with status, it's to do with value in society. And the only way for women to achieve this equal status, equal respect, however you want to put it, is through paid employment. It seems as if Lenin places no value at all on nurturing the next generation, on spending time with your children, teaching them and molding them, or in homemaking in general. That's worthless. The only thing that counts in terms of status is employment outside the home, and women must achieve equality with men in that regard.
I mean, I can leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that right there, because that right there is what said it all. That is the whole premise of everything. You destroy the family unit. That last bit he said, that's it. You destroy the family unit. You don't even care about the future of the kids. She don't want to care about the kids, and she's focused on him not caring about the kids, but the parenting is going to be different. The way a man parents is different than the way a woman parents. The way a man feels about the family is different than the way a woman feels about the family. But at the same time, what the family eats and how the family is fed nutrition and nurtured comes from the woman. Or at least it should, but it doesn't. And then how the family's protected would come from the man. But unfortunately, what he was mentioning is now that you give, the woman the power to kind of pull her out of the home and give her this financial status, she's pulled from the nurturing and feeding of the family. She's now competing with the man in protecting and providing. However, she can provide, but she can't protect. And when she doesn't feel protected, but she's like, I don't need your provision, I just need your protection. But it's like, protection and provision go hand in hand. If you want me to provide for you, I'm also going to need to protect you. But you don't want me to provide, you just want me to protect. And the man's like, well, then shit, I'm just going to back away. And then when she does get a man that protects but doesn't provide, she ends up with a weak ass man like King Ahab and Jezebel in the Bible. And then that's what you have moving forward. You have that story coming to fruition. But it is what it is. Nothing you could do. Only thing is you can see it from afar. That's the best thing you can do. You can see it from far away. All right. And let's see what we got. I got one more video. Then we're going to move to the AI segment of the show. And I got to wrap this up. So like I said, this guy's going to speak on living in a communistic state, which I did a video and had people give their different opinions on living in communist states. And it was mixed. It was some were bad, some were good, which was interesting. But we're going to hear this guy speak on it. And he's going to tell you about the Communist Manifesto and how good it was, but in practice, how bad it turned out to be. So here we go. Let's let him speak on this right here. Here we go.
This manifesto made absolute sense. When they tried to put it into practice, it was ugly. I was in 2 communist countries and they were awful. East Germany and Czechoslovakia. In Czechoslovakia, I was followed around by the secret police who didn't even try and hide what they were doing. I had strange people striking up conversations, trying to get me to make commitments. And if I'd made the commitment, bad things were going to happen. They were inviting me to say things about the government. If I'd have fallen for it, somebody would have come around the corner, arrested me, and then bad things would have happened.
Right, far left, far right, which is worse?
They're as bad as each other. The Communist Manifesto made absolute...
Far left, far right, which is worse? They're both as bad as each other. Which tells you it doesn't matter what side they're the bird of the same wing, and they're going to fulfill the same agenda. It's up to you to basically follow what the Bible is trying to tell you. Stay out of the government system as much as you can, because that's where all the shit goes down at. That's where the slavery is implemented inside of the government system. The government system was supposed to protect your borders and make sure and protect your borders and make sure nobody infringes on your private property. Now they're trying to say no private property and open the borders. It's the opposite of what the government's supposed to do. So, I mean, there's no way around it. Like, once you see it for what it is, it's like you should know these things. If your borders are being infiltrated on, then that means the government's not doing their job. But then if they're letting them come in and your borders are open, then you are the victim. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out how to get out of this shit. But anyway, let's move on to the AI segment of the show so we can dive into the World Economic Forum job reports of 2025. Let's go.
Welcome to the AI segment of the show.
All right, so I ain't got much time. We're going to dive right in. So we're going to look at the future, the World Economic Forum job reports of 2025. And this lady's going to give her a little pitch on what she's found out about it. Then I'm going to actually open up the job reports of 2025 and read it to you so you can understand what to do with where we're headed from 2025 to 2030. So you know where your brain and where your vision needs to be pointed to, in how you need to move and what you need to stay away from and what's going to go away and die out. Okay. So we have this lady right here. She's going to speak on this right here. And she's going to tell you, let me change that banner, the job reports or what some of the key things that she found. It's a quick video about a minute long. And she's going to tell you some of the changes and some of the key things that she found out about the World Economic Forum job report. So here we go.
Forum just released their Future of Jobs report for the next 5 years. I read through the entire report, and there is one statistic that matters for all of us, and that's, on average, workers can expect 39% of their skills to become obsolete or need to be transformed over the next 5 years. Here's why this is the most important statistic. Yes, artificial intelligence is going to automate some occupations, some industries, but it's also going to create tens of millions of new jobs, and most of them are fundamentally impossible to predict because they're going to be in companies that haven't been invented yet, using AI systems in ways that we can't imagine yet. Here's what I mean by this. Say the year is 1990. The internet has been invented, but it's not widespread yet. Think of all of the jobs that were transformed because of the internet. I mean, even if you work in HR, I'm sure you get most of your applications on the internet. If you're in marketing, I'm sure a significant portion of what you do is based on social media and the internet. And think of all the companies that were invented over the last few decades. If you work at Google or any social media platform, Uber, what's about to happen in AI, but over the span of like a decade instead of 3. Which is why the future of work is much more about skills than it is job. We can't really predict the jobs, but we do know it's going to require understanding how to work with AI tools, able to be very flexible, adaptable, resilient, ability to pivot, which is why learning how to work with AI is so vital. And you're not late. I mean, most CEOs don't even know what they're doing with this technology. We're all still in the learning phase, but we're going to transition into the expectation phase. Same way when you apply for a job, nobody asks if you can use a computer. We're eventually going to move that way with AI. I have something even bigger to share on the future of work, so stay tuned for.
All right, so as you see right there, she showed the job reports and how people need to how they need to pivot and basically understand what is going on and how big of a change that we're going to have from 2025 to 2030. She says you got the change that happen in like 10 years, but I'm more of like, look, they're already telling you where things are going from now to 2030, so you need to focus and double down and know exactly where your energy and focus needs to be headed, which I'm going to show you. So right here, we have the Future of Job Reports in 2025, World Economic Forum. And here we are right here. We're going to go for the key findings, introduction to global labor market landscape in 2025 to get a good understanding. Now, understand this is global labor market landscape. Global. This ain't the United States. This is the world, okay? It's called the World Economic Forum. Not the United States Economic Forum, not the Europe. This is the global. Now, one thing I will always take into consideration while all this is going down, look at Europe. Okay. Europe is a very special place because could you imagine the World Economic Forum implementing what I'm about to read to you, but under the situation that Europe is under? Keep that in mind, okay, as I read you this, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into this, okay? Let me zoom in. Jesus, slow down. Zoom in and let's get the reading because I got to get this to you because this is very important. There's a lot of reading I'm finna do, but you need to hear it because it's very important. All right? So here we go. Technological change, geoeconomic fragmentation, economic uncertainty, and demographic shifts, and green transition. Individually and in combination are among the major drivers expected to shape and transform the global labor market by 2030. The Future Jobs Report 2025 brings together the perspective of over 1,000 leading global employers, collectively representing more than 14 million workers across 22 industry clusters and 55 economies from around the world, to examine how these macro trends impact jobs and skills and workforce transformation strategies employers plan to embark on in response across the 2025 to 2030 time frame. Okay, so as we see, broadening the digital access is expected to be the most transformative trend, both across technology-related trends and overall, with 60% of employers expected to transform their business by 2030. Advancements in technologies, particularly AI and information processing, 86%, robotics and automation, 58%, and energy generation, storage, and distribution, 41%, are also expected to be transformative. These trends are expected to have a great divergent effect on jobs, driving both the fastest growing and fastest declining roles, and fueling demand for technology-related skills, including AI and big data, that's 1, networks and cybersecurity, that's 2, and technological literacy, that's 3, which are anticipated to be the top 3 fastest growing skills. Get skills in AI, big data, network, cybersecurity, and or technological literacy. They're telling you. Increasing cost of living ranks as the second most transformative trend overall, and the top trend related to economic conditions, with half of employers expecting it to transform their business by 2030. Despite an anticipated reduction in global inflation, general economic slowdown, to a lesser extent, also remains top of the mind and is expected to transform 42% of business. Inflation is predicted to have a mixed outlook for the next job creation to 2030. While slower growth is expected to displace 1.6 million jobs globally, these two impacts on job creations are expected to increase the demand for creative thinking and resilience, flexibility, and agility skills. They're saying right here, inflation is predicted to have a mixed outlook for job creation. They're not sure which way inflation is going to go, but I would say it's going to go up. I don't really see prices coming down, as I don't really see it. I mean, maybe they will. I don't know. I mean, Great Depression will make things come down, but that's going to also come in hand with a currency crisis, a currency crash, a currency changing from, paper to digital. A cashless society, in other words. We have climate change. Do I want to read about climate change? I'm not a climate change person. Let's see. No, we'll skip that. 2 demographic shifts are increasingly seen to be transforming global economies and labor markets. Aging and declining working age population, predominantly in higher income economies, and expanding working age population, predominantly in lower economies. These trends drive an increase in demand for skills in talent management, teaching and mentoring, and motivation and self-awareness. Aging populations drive growth in healthcare jobs such as nursing professionals, while growing working age populations fuel growth in education-related professions such as higher education and teachers. Fiat is the biggest. Tiny Aim says fiat is the biggest Ponzi scheme on the planet. It is. However, I would rather have fiat currency on the earth than a cashless society, to be quite honest with you, because a cashless society means we are all screwed beyond repair, if you know what I mean. All right, so geoeconomic fragmentation and geopolitical tensions are expected to drive business model transformations in 1/3 of surveyed organizations in the next 5 years. So over 1/5, 23% of global employers identify increased restrictions on trade and investment. Oh my goodness. Over 1/5 of global employers identify increased restrictions on trade and investment as well as subsidies and industrial policies as factors shaping their operations. Almost all economies for which respondents expect these trends to be more or most transformative has significant trade with the U.S. and or China. Employers who expect geoeconomic trends to transform their business are also more likely to offshore them and even more likely to reshore operations. These trends are driving demand for security-related job roles and increasing demand for network and cybersecurity skills. There it goes again. There are also increasing demand for other human-centered skills, such as be resilient, flexible, agility skills, and leadership and social influence. These are things you got to pay attention to. Human-centered skills. So the human-centered skills, which will still be important, are going to be your resilience, how flexible you are, agility and skills, leaders, and social influence. Kind of like what I'm doing now on this internet streets. All right, so keep that in mind. That's important. Extrapolating from the prediction shared. Do I want to read this? No, not this one. I'm not going to read this one. Here we go right here. Almost done. Frontline job roles are predicted to see the largest growth in absolute terms of volume and include frame workers, delivery drivers, construction workers, salespersons, and food processing workers. Care economy jobs such as nursing, social work, counseling, and personal care aides are also expected to grow significantly over the next 5 years, alongside education roles such as tertiary and secondary education teachers. Technology-related roles are the fastest growing in percentage terms, including big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists, and software and application developers. Green and energy transition roles, including autonomous electric vehicle specialists, environmental engineers, renewable energy engineers, also feature within the top fastest growing roles. This is important. This is very important. Listen to what I'm about to say, okay? This is important. I'm pretty sure you know this, but here we go. Clerical, secretarial workers, including cashiers, ticket clerks, administrative assistants, executive secretaries, are expected to see the largest decline in absolute numbers. Similarly, businesses expect the fastest declining roles to include postal service clerks, bank tellers, and data entry clerks. That's letting you know, stay away from these and go towards reskill yourself into the other things I mentioned. On average, workers can expect that 2/5, 39% of the existing skill set will be transformed or become outdated over the next 5-year period, 2025 to 2030. However, this measure of skill instability has slowed compared to previous editions of this report. So from 44% in 2023 and a high point of 57% in 2020. So since 2020, people have been reskilling themselves. So this number has been going down. This finding could potentially be due to an increased share of workers having completed training and reskilling or upskilling measures compared to 41 in the reports of 2023. This is exactly what I said. Analytical thinking remains the most sought after core skills among employers, with 7 out of 10 companies considering it as an essential in 2025. This is followed by resilience, flexibility, and agility, along with leadership and social influence. So you need to be able to be an analytical thinker. It's the most sought out after skill among employers. 7 out of 10 companies consider it as essential. AI and big data top the list of fastest growing skills, followed closely by networks and cybersecurity, as well as technology literacy. Complementing these technology-related skills, creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, agility, along with curiosity and lifelong learning, so keep learning, are also expected to continue to rise in importance from 2025 to 2030. Conversely, manual dexterity, endurance, and precision stand out with notable net declines in skill demand, with 24% of respondents foreseeing a decrease in their importance. Jesus Christ, 24%. Do you know when the Great Depression hit, the unemployment rate was at between 20 and 25%. So if we go through another hell of a unemployment rate above that, we're cooked. Tiny Aim. I think there are going to be some challenges as AI is not always right. This is true. There will always be human oversight to the more creative areas, which I agree with. That is true. This is going from 2025 to 2030 though. So this is the next 5 years. So 2025 to 2030, this is where we're moving towards in the next 5 years. Now, you know, with all of this innovation and reskilling and retraining happening in 5 years, because in 5 years, think of what's going to be going on. Think about what's going to be happening in the next 5 years, Tiny Aim. You're going to have what we see. Quick question, Tiny Aim. Where are you in the world? I'm in the United States. I'm in Texas. Where are you at? Think about it like this. So far, we have Europe or EU or whatever you want to call it. UK, London. Okay, perfect. You're in the UK. So do y'all have all that stuff going on over there with the Islam and Sharia law? Is that all that going on with you over there in that part of the country or world, I should say? Is that happening with you? Do you see a lot of that stuff going on? Because according to the internet, they got this shit looking bad. Is it worse on the internet, or is it true what they say on the internet was going on with all that? Because over here in the West, we get nothing but bad reports about what's going on over there. Hell, even Elon Musk is giving us bad reports. But while all this is going on, we will have all that going on. Plus, they're talking about putting robots out in the streets here within the next 2 to 3 years. So we'll have robots being implemented, jobs are going to be being changed, and then you got, you know, on the interior of a country, you have Islam and Muslims moving in, having a religious change within a society. All this is happening while at the same time, reskilling of jobs is also happening simultaneously. And then, you know, Australia, there has been, okay, but what do you exactly mean? Can you elaborate on that? Like, is it bad? Is it a lot, or is it a little bit? All this is going on. Also, Australia, I just read about, just had or is having, as of midnight today, 16 and under are going to be banned from social media. So all of these transitions and all these things are happening simultaneously. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on all at the same time while they're telling you to retrain and reskill for jobs that are going to be predominant in AI, big data, network and cybersecurity, as well as technology and literacy. But also, they also want you to keep critical thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility skills, as well as social influence and all that stuff going on simultaneously. There has been a big kickback regarding the digital ID that they are trying to push in the UK. That too, there's another thing. Tiny Aim added another element. All this shit that I'm reading about, job reports, is going on. Plus, they're trying to implement digital ID in the UK. If they pull it, well, not if. I hate to say it, but the truth is they're going to get it. It's going to suck, but they're going to get the digital ID pulled off in the UK. Once they get that pulled off, that's going to open up Pandora's box, which, well, fuck, Pandora's box is already open. Everybody else is going to get the digital ID because it's like UK is going to be the test ground. They're like, once we test it out over here, then we can see, and then we'll open it up to everywhere else. So all this is going on at the same time. You're trying to get you to reskill and retrain your skills. People losing jobs. People are fighting for digital ID. People are fighting because Muslims and Islams are coming into the country. All this shit's going on simultaneously at the same time. All of it. They have tried digital ID many, many times and failed. There are 3 million people kicking back on that. I hope it doesn't get through. But they said that they already passed a law over there that said that it's a thing. At least it's what I've seen. I actually did a segment on it where it said that, let's see, digital ID in UK. Let me show you the thing that I found. where the guy spoke on. This guy right here. Is this true or is this just a bunch of BS? Let me know right here, because this is the World Economic Forum thing. Whoever this guy is. I don't know who this is. But here we go. I'll show you this right here. Got this dude right here. Unelected. Oh, this lady's just talking crap. Says they have officially mandated digital IDs across the UK, stating that no one will be able to work without one of these digital IDs. It is going through the comments, and at the moment, there was a big debate in the comments yesterday. Okay, cool. Well, here's the thing that I seen right here: the London 2025 Global, what is this? Progress Act, or whatever the hell this is. But here's this little 25-second clip. Here we go.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
See, so they have this right here, but you're saying that, just chat. And so, but you're saying that they just had a, shit, where are you? Are you on, where are you? You're in YouTube? Or, there it goes. It says it's going through the comments at the moment. There was a big debate in the comments yesterday. So you said it hasn't went through yet, is what you're saying. Like Keir Starmer, our prime minister, that is what he wants to do. The key bit is by the end of this parliament, he has not got it through yet. Okay. Okay, so they're pushing. Okay, they're trying to. All right, well, that's good news. That's actually good news to hear from somebody actually in the UK. Shout out to Tiny Aim dropping us some facts. Shit. Cheers. Shout out to Tiny Aim coming through with the facts, because I can only hear what I see on the internet, and it's way better to hear from people who are actually in a different country as opposed to, you know, what we see on the internet. Because when we see this on the internet, then what happens is people get all over YouTube and start fucking cutting videos like, look, they're doing it right now in the UK. They have to have a digital ID. But it's like, we don't know until, you know, somebody like you or in the country can tell us like, nah, it's not here yet. And like, cut the bullshit. He's getting some serious kickback. He better. God, he better. I have written to the MP. PM? PM is Prime Minister. What's MP? For the first time regarding this. MP. MP. What is MP? I'm sorry. PM is Prime Minister. What is MP? What is MP? MP. I have written to the MP. Shit. I don't know what the MP is, but he'll tell me in a second. Member of Parliament. Thank you. I was going to say member of... Okay, well, I was going to say member of Parliament, but I didn't. Okay, well, cool then. That works out perfectly. Well, hey, well, thank you for writing. Hey, yes, fight back, kick back. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Write to them fuckers. Yes, don't let them get this shit off. All right, so let's see. So there's that. I got one more thing I got to go over here, but shout out to Tiny Aim. Tiny Aim has written to the member of Parliament on this bullshit they trying to push through. And what's the guy named Keir Starmer is trying to push this off, and he's saying he's going to get it done. And he said that at the World Economic Forum or wherever the hell he was at. He's on some bullshit, but they've been trying to do this for God knows how long. This conspiracy theorists have been telling us this shit for ages. So good news is everybody's pushing back. They're fighting for it. So hopefully this don't go through, man. So shout out to y'all over in the UK. Keep fighting, keep pushing. Don't let these fuckers pull this off, because y'all are like ground zero. If they get it on y'all, then the rest of the world is open for, you know, like if they put it off on y'all, then the rest of the world is fucked. So we are praying that you guys don't let it happen. Oh God, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen, man. It's crazy, but y'all are like the test ground. The same way with us over here. Like, we got stuff going on over here with, you know, Islam and Muslim infiltrating us. If they take over America, because they're in Congress and different aspects of our political parties, like, it's like, boy, if they get this over here, we gonna have Islam over here in America too, doing the same shit they doing to y'all over there. So it's gonna be a hell of a thing. The problem I have is that they can't control the data, and also he is hiding behind It's to protect the kids and immigrants. I have never heard so much crap in all my life. Oh, of course they got to say it's to protect the kids and immigrants. Of course they have to say that. That's the story they're going to go in to try to pass it. They don't give a shit about the kids, and they're the ones who brought the immigrants in. It's like, you brought the problem, now you want to give us a solution. Like, kiss my ass. That is bullshit. No. And I mean, that's the same ploy they've been doing for generations, for fucking decades or centuries. They cause a problem and they turn around and say, but the solution is digital ID. It's like, no, fucker, you brought them over. You know what I mean? And don't say you care about kids when you don't, because you know they don't care about no damn kids. At least over here in America, when they say they care about kids, it's like, which one of y'all let OnlyFans be legal? Because ever since y'all let OnlyFans get legal, we got camel toes, we got see-through leggings, we got nipples and piercings, all at the gym and at the grocery stores. And when the kids' moms come to pick them up from schools, it's like, yeah, no. Care about the kids, but I mean, and I'm all for women, being whores and debaucherous. I'm not stopping you, because please, if you're gonna be a whore or a harlot, at least I know where you stand. I don't want you to like be a whore or harlot and then fake over to the wife section. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. We don't want the women to be this and then slide over and fake be the wife. No. Be who you are. Be you, boo-boo. Be you. You want to be a harlot? Go all for it. I support it. I'm here for it. But the thing is, when they say they care about the kids, they don't give a shit about the kids. The best solution regarding kids is education. That is facts. But not unfortunately, the only way to educate your kids now is you got to do homeschool, because, over here in America, education system is going downhill. Unless you're probably like a rural area or outside of the big city, your schools will be better for sure. But cities, all these immigrants coming in, they bring the kids in, they have to dumb down the education. They have to dumb it down. They got the language barriers and all this shit going on. It's like you have to dumb it down. And then on top of that, you got liberal teachers who are like slash teachers slash OnlyFans models slash, like slash, I don't want to have any kids. I don't want to get married, but I want to teach kids. It's like, make that shit make sense. And they like 25 years old teaching kids, don't want to have kids, don't want to be married. You know what I mean? They got a wife she has a wife at home. He has a husband at home, but they want to teach kids. I'm like, bro, like when I was a kid, I think my youngest teacher was like 40, 45 years old. And it's crazy nowadays. It's crazy, but it is what it is. You just got to roll with the punches, get rich. That's why I always try to teach people. Keep your head down. Stay focused for the next 5 or 10 years. Put women on the back burner. Screw women. Don't worry about them. They ain't going nowhere. They're going to be harlots. They'll always be here for you to use because that's what they want. Get your money. Stack your money up. Make smart investments, smart moves with your money. Get to the point where you're able to have freedom of basically have fuck you money. So you're not tied down to a job, but you're able to have your own business to where you can move around and go anywhere you want to go. So you're not forced to do anything you don't want to do. Have enough money to have fuck you money. That's the key to everything. That's the main thing you can do, because then you can homeschool your kids. You'll have freedom to do what you want. And I'm not saying you won't have to work. You always got to work, but at least your investments pan out right, so you'll be able to have more control over what you're doing. I don't understand the politicians getting involved in what is being educated. Teach the kids the good, the bad, and educate them. True, but technically speaking, the politicians have the interest of their money involved. They don't give a damn about your educating your kids. That's your job. Your problem is your money is someone's debt. True, but it is as long as I feel you. Problem, your money is someone's debt, but hey, what can you do about that? You can't do nothing about that at all. But let me get to this last thing real quick. The last thing we have is the World Economic Forum is about smart cities and how they'll limit your food. So this last video we have right here, gentleman here is about to go in and speak on smart cities, which is going to be something that when you look at it, when he explains it, unfortunately, it's going to make sense. It sucks, but it's true. So here we go. Let this guy speak on smart cities. So here we go.
Now, I'm going to take you to something, to the World Economic Forum, their own website. They have a section on smart cities.
This video was back in 2022 or 2023, by the way. So it's a few years old.
So the smart cities are the way to get all of our problems under control, because their plan is to force everybody into cities and leave the land alone. Remember, they have to, by 2030, and Biden's already done this, he's going to preserve 30% of all land in America. No humans will be on it. By 2050, it's 50% of all land. So where do the people go? The people all have to go into cities, but they'll be smart cities.
This is why I say stay focused, keep your head down, make good investments with your money, and get rich as you can. I mean, the problems are going to be there either way, but I would have better advise you to have problems rich than broke, because at least you won't have to be forced to live in the city.
Now, I want you to go to the World Economic Forum's website, and I want you to look this up for yourself, because you will not believe what I'm about to tell you. But it's there currently in black and white. So you decide who's the conspiracy theorist and who is actually lying to you. Now, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. You go to the World Economic Forum, you look up their smart cities, and you're going to see what is planned for you. Now, they have all kinds of partners all over the world. One of them is the Arab Group, ARUP, the Arab Group. They have their own section on the WEF website, okay? They're a progressive group that got together in Britain right after World War II, and they were like, hey, we can do a lot of things. You know, these Fabian socialists, they got a lot of great ideas. Why don't we start building things and building a community of tomorrow? So very progressive-minded, and they want to be a source and a force for peace and social betterment, which I look for in a construction company, don't you? I mean, I'm like, yeah, but how? I mean, how is it with earthquakes and stuff? Social betterment. Did we say social betterment? Okay, so...
AIM says, I don't buy that. In England, currently 10% of the country is populated. American number must be way lower than that. I couldn't answer that, to be honest with you. However, they're saying that he's mentioning that this was their their push for 2030 and then 2050. Which, if we add in AI and how things happen as far as economic hardships are concerned, it's no telling what could unravel within the next 10, 15, 20 years. So it might not happen in a specific time frame that they're saying, but if you add economic hardships, and plus they're also trying to push for UBI, universal basic income, it's really no telling what they could get passed off, because they had the whole world wearing masks and believing that there was a strong flu out there. And I'm not saying that it wasn't, but what I will say is that if you sat down at a restaurant, you were safe. But if you got up to go to the bathroom, you needed to wear your mask because the COVID might catch you going to the bathroom. But when you sat back down to eat, you were fine. You know what I mean? It was stupid like that. So if they could have a lot of people believing in that, when you add AI to it, it's no telling what they could pull off. It really isn't. 6 million people in the UK cover 10% of land. America must be way lower down in the single digits. I don't know. It depends on what city and state. It depends on what state you're in. It just depends on what state you're in. Because if you're looking at like New York, California, That's different. Texas, probably, but USA is 3% of the land populated. Well, it just depends on how many people are in cities versus rural areas. It just depends. So it depends if people push towards the cities for economic opportunities. It just depends. I mean, it just depends. If they can push everybody towards the city, then, you know, it is what it is. But like I said, they have a time frame on it, and it may not happen in their time frame that they're mentioning. But if you add AI to the element, we don't know how it's going to look. Yeah, I don't know. If we add AI to it in the next 5, 10, 20 years, we'll see how things will change. But in the meantime, this is their plan. So as long as you know what their plan is, you know how to operate opposite of their plan, because that's what they're pushing towards. So we'll see how it pans out. But let's let them finish up.
From the World Economic Forum, let's put page 40 up. There it is. Now, I love this. Now, this is a whole section on, look, we've got some pretty big goals to hit, and we got to hit them. So how do we build these smart cities, and what do we need people to do by 2030? Now, they have some pretty aggressive goals, and some of them are up there. And they look, I mean, if you're watching Blaze TV, you'll see them up from the website itself. But let me give it to you just in case you're not watching, because, gosh darn it, these stats are a little sticky. So food. They need to reduce the emissions of food by 2030. So their target by 2030 is you will only have 16 kilograms of meat per year. Now, their aggressive target for 2030 is that you have 0 kilograms of meat. I'm telling you what they're doing to the farmers and the ranchers, what the 4 big food processors are doing. They're driving them out of business, so you can't have any local ranchers growing meat because they're getting rid of meat. Listen to Klaus Schwab, who says by 2030, meat will be for the rich and very wealthy for special occasions only. You with that? Again, on their...
I don't know if he'll pull this off by 2030, but if that's what they're aiming for at some point, that's what they're aiming for, and that's what they may end up pulling off at some point. May it be 2030, 40, 50, or 60, but just know that this is their goals that they're looking at. But why? Oh. Well, I'll show you. You may or may not believe this part, but this will be the reason why. I shall show you, my friend. I shall show you. You may not be a believer of this, but, I mean, if you look at how the world is moving, this seems to be it. You may or may not believe it, but this is it at the end of the day. Here it is. This is it right here. Revelations 13. Says, because signs was given to perform power on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth and ordered them to set up an image in honor of the first beast, who wounded by the sword and yet still live. The second beast gave power to the breath of the first image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused the image to be killed. It also forced all people, great, small, rich, poor, free, and slave, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark on their hand, which is in the name of the beast, which in essence, they're trying to hit you guys with a digital ID. And it says and if they're trying to hit UK with the digital ID, they're trying to hit everybody with it. Great and small, rich and poor, free and slave. And it says right here that you could not buy or sell unless you had the mark. This is what they're trying to implement. They're pushing for this. They're pushing for it. And they're trying to get it. They're trying to enslave the entire world. That's what they want. They want to bring in an antichrist system. That's what it's all about, a antichrist system at the end of the day. And what happens is you have data centers all over the world. Okay, you got data centers all over the globe, everywhere. The data centers, they get data health, I mean, your health data, your financial data, your social media data, all your data that you use, all of it. And then all the data centers collect this data and they're trying to put it into one data system. So if all the data centers of the world can put it all into one data center, then that one data center will have an AI that will reason all the data. So then when an AI is the reasoning for all of our data across the world, then you have a one world system. And AI is basically going to be governing the entire earth at that point. So then anytime there's something going on, AI will be able to digitally go through your finances, your health, your social media, everything that you do, and you'll respond to a AI system as opposed to a human. And they'll know everything about you at all times, and there'll be nothing you can do. Your digital ID, all that shit, all the way to the point where they try to microchip you even. May sound far-fetched, but there's a company on the stock market that you can invest in that does microchipping. Let's see, McKesson stock right here. McKesson Corp right here. Let me see, actually, let me pull up the name so I can show it to you. McKesson Corp. Wikipedia. McKesson Corporations. Where are we at? Right here. All right. Healthcare. Consume. Here it is right here. I'll show you. So McKesson Corp, which the one you just saw me put up on the screen, this is them. So the American public traded company that distributes pharmaceuticals, provides health information technology, medical supplies, and health management tools. Company delivers a third of pharmaceutical products used to consume in North America and employs 80,000 employees. With $300 billion in 24 revenue, it's the 9th largest company by revenue in the U.S. and the nation's largest healthcare company. The company headquarters is in Irving, Texas. All right, keep going. McKesson provides extensive network of infrastructures for healthcare industries and was an early adapter of technologies including barcode scanning for distribution, pharmacy robotics, and RFID tag. The company has named in a federal lawsuit for profiting from opioid epidemic in the U.S. And this right here, let's see, throughout the McKesson was a key vaccination distributor serving the U.S. So they distribute a lot of the strong flu 19 vaccines. So they want to put RFID tags. What are RFID tags? They use electromagnetic fields to automatically identify and track tags attached to objects. They can stick that in anyone or anybody. This is a publicly traded company right here. About $800 for a stock. So it's not hidden. It's what they're trying to do. And I think in time, they're going to do it. I just think the time is more near than we think. Maybe not 2030, but I wouldn't personally, I wouldn't doubt it. I would rather have a fire lit under my ass to make something happen immediately so I can kind of be alleviated from the situation, as opposed to kind of like sit back and be like, oh, I'll be dead by the time that happens. I'm like, shit, I don't know. The way this AI is moving, I don't think so. Because if they're trying, if we start seeing robots out before 2030, that right there should tell you everything we need to know. And I'll tell you right now, excuse me, I live in Austin. I go downtown in the morning. I see cars with nobody in them driving downtown. And I mean, when I see cars, I can see like 5 or 10 of them easily just driving around, scanning the area of downtown, just picking up data of the city. Just driverless cars with nobody in them at all. Not a person, not in the passenger seat, not in the driver's seat. Just a little camera stuff on top of the car. Looks like a regular car. It stops at a red light. It stops at a stop sign. I've been in an intersection with one. I go first. It goes after. I'm like, damn, in a 4-way intersection? Like, it knows how to move. I mean, there's multiples of them. So it's going to happen in due time. It's just, I think the time is quicker than what we think. But that's the overall big project of it. They're going to put a big Antichrist system at play, regardless of, you know, how they get there, by hook or by crook. They'll get it done at some point. But with that being said, I do have to roll up out of here. I can't finish that last video because I do got to roll up out of here immediately because I got to go get some stuff done. But I will be back here tomorrow to finish up. So thank y'all for tuning in to another DnL&x live stream show. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Gotta get up out of here. But with that being said, I'll be back tomorrow, probably at an earlier time, maybe like an hour or two early, and we'll dive in on another topic, and we'll keep it moving and grooving. So thank y'all so much. Peace out. Take care. See you later. Peace.
Thank you for watching DnL&x Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
It's big art, baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli. Taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones that's my policy. Most of these hoes trying to cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream.